Section 1. Birth of an explorer, Columbus's early years. Columbus was born in Genoa, Italy in 1451. Genoa, during this time, was a thriving maritime republic known for its powerful navy and bustling trade routes that connected it to various parts of the Mediterranean and beyond. Genoa was a bustling port city. The city's docks were always alive with activity, filled with merchants, sailors and traders from different parts of the world. This vibrant environment played a crucial role in shaping young Columbus's dreams and aspirations. Young Christopher was fascinated by the sea. He would often spend hours watching the ships come and go, dreaming of the distant lands they visited and the adventures they encountered. He went to sea as a teenager. His early voyages took him to various parts of the Mediterranean where he gained valuable experience and knowledge about sailing and navigation. He learned about sailing and navigation. Columbus was ambitious. He studied the stars, the winds and the currents, always eager to learn more and improve his skills. His determination and curiosity set him apart from his peers. He wanted to make a name for himself. Columbus was not content with just being a sailor. He aspired to achieve greatness and leave a lasting legacy. He was also deeply religious. His faith played a significant role in his life, guiding his decisions and fueling his belief that he was destined for a greater purpose. Columbus believed that God wanted him to explore the world. He saw his voyages as a divine mission, a way to spread Christianity and bring glory to God. He read about Marco Polo's travels to the east. The tales of exotic lands, rich cultures, and immense wealth captured his imagination and fueled his desire to explore. He dreamed of finding a new sea route to the Indies. Columbus was convinced that there was a shorter and more direct route to these fabled lands, one that would bypass the long and perilous journey by land. The Indies were a source of spices, silks, and other valuable goods. These commodities were highly sought after in Europe, making the Indies a lucrative destination for traders and explorers alike. Europeans were eager to trade with the Indies. The demand for exotic goods drove many to seek new and more efficient trade routes. But traveling there by land was long and dangerous. The overland routes were fraught with numerous challenges, including harsh terrains, hostile territories, and unpredictable weather. Sailing east around Africa was also difficult. The journey was treacherous with rough seas, strong currents, and the ever-present threat of pirates. Columbus believed a shorter route existed. He was convinced that by sailing west across the Atlantic Ocean, he could reach the east more quickly and safely. He thought he could sail west across the Atlantic Ocean to reach the east. This bold idea set the stage for his historic voyages and the eventual discovery of the New World. Section 2. A daring proposal, seeking a western route to the Indies. Columbus's idea was radical. At a time when the known world was limited to Europe, parts of Africa and Asia, Columbus envisioned a bold new path to the riches of the Indies by sailing westward across the uncharted Atlantic Ocean. Most people believed the Earth was flat. This was a common misconception during the Middle Ages. Despite earlier Greek scholars having proposed a spherical Earth, they thought Columbus would sail off the edge of the world. The fear of the unknown and the potential dangers lurking beyond the horizon made many skeptical of his ambitious plan. But Columbus was convinced the Earth was round. He had studied the works of ancient geographers and astronomers, and he believed that a westward route to Asia was not only possible but also practical. He underestimated its size, though. Columbus believed the distance between Europe and Asia was much shorter than it actually was, a miscalculation that would have significant implications for his voyage. He believed the journey west would be shorter than it actually was. This underestimation was based on his reliance on outdated maps and incorrect calculations. Columbus needed funding for his expedition. He knew that such a monumental journey required substantial financial backing, and he was determined to find a sponsor who shared his vision. He first presented his plan to King John II of Portugal. Columbus believed that Portugal, with its strong maritime tradition, would be the ideal supporter of his venture. The king rejected his proposal. The Portuguese experts were skeptical of Columbus's calculations and the feasibility of his plan. Undeterred, Columbus went to Spain. He was persistent and believed in his mission, so he sought the support of another powerful nation. He sought the support of King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella. The Spanish monarchs were known for their interest in exploration and expanding their empire. The Spanish monarchs were intrigued. They saw Columbus's proposal as an opportunity to gain a competitive edge over Portugal and other European powers. They saw the potential for wealth and power. The promise of new trade routes and the possibility of discovering untold riches were compelling reasons to consider Columbus's plan. After years of persuasion, they agreed to finance Columbus's voyage. It took Columbus several years of persistent lobbying and negotiation to finally secure the support he needed. In 1492, they provided him with 3 ships, the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. These ships would become legendary as they embarked on a journey that would change the course of history. Section 3. Setting Sail, the Perilous Journey of 1492. On August 3, 1492, Columbus set sail from Palos de la Frontera, Spain. The journey was long and arduous. The sailors faced storms, hunger, and disease. Morale was very low. Some crew members wanted to turn back. Columbus remained resolute. He encouraged his men. He promised them riches and glory. After weeks at sea, they saw signs of land birds, branches, and seaweed. Finally, on October 12, 1492, a lookout on the Pinta shouted, "Tierra! Tierra! Land! Land!" They had reached an island in the Bahamas. Columbus named it San Salvador. He believed he had reached the Indies. He called the native people he encountered Indians. Section 4. Land ahoy! The crew's excitement was palpable as they spotted land on the horizon. After weeks at sea, the sight of land brought a wave of relief and anticipation. First encounters in a new world, Columbus and his crew were about to step into an unknown land, filled with mystery and promise. The islands they approached were unlike anything they had ever seen before. Columbus was struck by the beauty of the islands. The lush greenery, the clear blue waters, and the vibrant landscapes were a stark contrast to the vast ocean they had just crossed. He described them as paradises. In his journals, he wrote about the serene beaches lined with palm trees and the rich, fertile land that seemed to promise abundance. He met the native people, the Taíno. These encounters were filled with curiosity and cautious optimism. The Taíno were welcoming and intrigued by the newcomers. He found them to be gentle and generous. The Taíno offered gifts and shared their resources, showcasing their hospitality and kindness. Columbus was eager to find gold and other riches. His determination was fueled by the promise of wealth and the potential to bring glory to Spain. He explored the islands, searching for evidence of wealth. The dense jungles and rugged terrain were challenging, but Columbus and his crew pressed on, driven by their quest for riches. He claimed the lands for Spain. With a sense of triumph, Columbus planted the Spanish flag, marking the beginning of a new era of exploration and conquest. He took some Taíno people as captives. This marked a dark turn in the encounters, as Columbus sought to bring tangible proof of his discoveries back to Spain. He wanted to bring them back to Spain as proof of his discoveries. The captives were seen as living evidence of the New World and its inhabitants. Columbus established a small colony on the island of Hispaniola. This settlement was intended to be a foothold for further exploration and exploitation of the new lands. He left behind a group of men to search for gold. These men were tasked with finding the riches that Columbus believed were hidden in the island's depths. He returned to Spain a hero. The news of his discoveries spread quickly, and Columbus was celebrated for his achievements. He was received by the king and queen with great fanfare. The royal court welcomed him with open arms, eager to hear tales of the New World and its potential for wealth and expansion. Section 5. Voyages of Discovery and Disillusionment. Columbus's later expeditions. Columbus made 3 more voyages to the Americas. He explored more islands in the Caribbean. He also explored parts of Central and South America. He never realized he had stumbled upon a new continent. He continued to believe he had reached the East Indies. Columbus's later voyages were marked by hardship and disappointment. He faced resistance from the native populations. He failed to find the vast quantities of gold he'd promised. His colonies struggled to survive. There were conflicts with the indigenous people. There was disease and starvation. Columbus himself was accused of mismanagement and brutality. He was eventually arrested and sent back to Spain in chains.